Hey, I'm Mark D'Amato.
And I'm John Cena.
Bum ba da da.
John Cena!
Well, off on that wonderful note,
Hi guys.
we're going to bring up our special spinny wheel.
Yep.
Boing.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you want to spin or shall I spin this one?
Sure, I'll spin this one. Spin that wheel! What we got? The Incredible Melting Man!
We have the Incredible Melting Man. Let's see if I have the...
The Incredible Melting Man.
Yes, you keep saying it'll make more sense.
It really might.
An astronaut is transformed into a murderous gelatinous mass after returning from an ill-fated space voyage.
So he's basically gonna get power cosmic from, like, fucking... He's gonna go to space and he's gonna get powers like Fantastic Four.
Yes, but shittier.
Oh, god damn it.
It's a realistic Fantastic Four, if you will.
Oh, fucking hell. This is gonna be awesome.
Yes, it is.
Oh, we're in for a treat, I guess.
Magnificent. You've never seen anything till you've seen the sun through the rings of Saturn.
Astronaut Stephen West was returning from outer space. But something terrible had happened.
Remember now, his mind is so completely decomposed.
We've got to find him.
He's gonna need human cells to live on.
Stephen West had turned into the Incredible Melting Man.
And the more he kills, the longer he's going to live. He seems to be getting stronger as he melts.
The Incredible Melting Man is the first new horror creature. Come prepared.
Do you know the Melting Man, the Melting Man, the Melting Man? Do you know the Melting Man who comes from outer space? Hey! So, the Incredible Melting Man.
The Incredible Melting Man.
We begin like the Gumby movie began, in space.
Oh my god, I loved this movie. This movie was so good.
So we have Steve,
Yeah.
who I would call Mike Dawson because he has the mustache.
Steve.
And they're watching the sun, and he gets radiation sickness.
Yeah, they were watching, what was it, the sun through Saturn?
Yeah, he gets the sun through the rings of Saturn, and then he has a nosebleed and gets radiationified.
Yeah, and then he basically passes out after, like, bleeding from the nose.
And then...
Hard. And basically, yeah, they bring him, he ends up passing out also.
And
he wakes up in
we
the
find
hospital
him in a hospital bed completely
later
wrapped
on.
in bandages.
Yeah.
And it's funny because his chart just says radiation.
They literally just, like, they pick up his chart and it's just in red marker written radiation.
Yes, I see. Radiation.
He is radioactive. Then, okay.
No, I'm radioactive. That can't be good.
Never. So, he ends up waking up, afterwards, but, like, this doctor, what was his name? Like, the one with the...
With the Jufro?
Yeah.
We didn't get his name. We just call him Dr. Jufro.
Okay, so yeah, Dr. Jufro walks
But he's like, get Dr. Ted Nelson.
Get Dr. Ted Nelson. My name is Dr. Ted Nelson.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have a drinking game for this movie. Take a shot every time they say Ted Nelson.
Yes, every time they say Ted Nelson.
You take a drink.
It's the best. Oh, man. That, and also, every time you see, like, just mutilated radioactive melty parts.
That's 2 drinks.
That's 2 drinks.
Or just goo smeared on stuff.
Yeah, just goo.
So, he sees his hands are all fucked up.
Yeah.
So, he's like, oh, I wonder what my face looks like. My hands are all like this. So, he feels his face is all burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And then the nurse comes in with 2 bottles of blood, and so he drops them, and then he chases her.
Yep.
And then there's the scene of her running slow motion down a hallway, except I think they forgot to have him chasing her. So it's just like, what do you know, a light jog would suffice, it seems, in this situation.
Yeah, but he's not even behind her. She's just like, it's just a nurse in slow motion running down a hallway.
Just this scene
for like a solid 2 minutes.
This scene is in the movie for reasons.
Yeah, of course.
And then she smashes through the glass window.
She jumps through a glass door, which is she fucking goes through a glass door. On her way out, she goes through the glass door, and for some reason, Steve's right behind her as soon as she gets out the door.
To quote JonTron, did not factor in the warp ability.
Yeah. Somehow, Steve here was able to fucking teleport.
Only once, though.
Yeah, only once. I just imagined, like, going into this movie, I imagined it being, like, a lot more, like, silly, like him being able to, like, literally melt and, like, go under doors and stuff. It's like with a name like the Incredible Melting Man, you'd think something like that, right?
No, this was sad. I mean, it wasn't.
It was more sad than anything else.
It wasn't when the wind blows sad, but it was still kind of sad. It wasn't like cripplingly depressing. We can't talk about it or make jokes. We can make plenty of jokes about this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. But fuck, man. It gets kind of sad at the end. Like, you start to just think, like, oh, fuck, this is what this guy is going through right now. Like, this is what...
So he chases her. We assume he kills her? Yeah, he kills her.
He ends up killing her.
And then we're with Dr. Jufro and the great Dr. Ted Nelson.
Yes, and the great
and
Dr.
they're looking
Ted
at...
Or, as you'll know him later on in the end of the movie, Ted Nelson!
Oh, and every time we say Ted Nelson, you have to take a shot.
Because you're watching this before the movie, and this is the pre-drinking game.
Yeah. You're going to be good for that movie.
Yeah.
If we're doing that, I'd just like to tell the audience something very important.
Yeah.
Ted Nelson, 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 Ted Nelson.
Come on now.
Now they'll enjoy the movie so much more.
So Steve escapes.
Yes.
Steve escaped, and so Dr. Ted Nelson goes out looking for him with the Geiger counter. No, not yet. He's radioactive and he could be anywhere. Yeah. He gets
called by not the sheriff. He gets called by the general.
General? Oh yeah, it's true. It was the general of yeah. So he gets called and he's like, okay, yeah, come over here and try to find your friend because he's escaped from the hospital. He's covered.
Baby, run away.
Run, baby, run, escape from hospital. So he ends up getting out and stuff. And
every time we watch something, we just build inside jokes and references and everything, don't we?
Sort of. But he ends up getting out of the hospital, and he's just going around killing people. Like, he kills
a fisherman. He rips his head off.
Yeah, he just straight up starts ripping people up.
There's something about him needing human cells.
Yeah, apparently he needs human cells to not melt as fast. And that factors sort of into the end of the movie.
Then we meet Ted Nelson's wife.
Yes.
Who got groceries, but she forgot the crackers. This is a crucial plot point.
You forgot the crackers? Do you have any crackers?
Okay, I have to, because it's about space travel and everything. Gromit, we forgot the crackers!
Man.
Jeez, Gromit.
And, so after he escapes, he just goes around killing people. He's just, going around...
We're not going to go into every single death, because we want you to watch the movie and see how hilarious they are.
Yeah, some of them we'll talk about, but... Anyways, it ends up showing the journey of this head.
Yes, eventually, for no reason.
The fisherman's head that he rips off, it's just showing the journey of this head, rolling down, going down a waterfall and stuff.
And then we cut to 2 kids smoking.
And then that turns into 3 kids smoking
Interestingly, the kids never find the head.
They never found the head.
We thought they were.
I thought they were, I thought they were going to find the head. I was like, they're probably going to come across the head. Never did. But one of the 2 kids, 2 boys and this little girl walks up to them. The 2 boys are smoking
let's
a cigarette.
go play, and then, hey, you're not gonna tell? No, not if you let me try some. She doesn't like it, so she does something that should get her at least chewed out.
What?
Because she doesn't like it, so she throws the cigarette on the ground, stamps. So I was like, just imagining the 2 kids like, we weren't fucking done. asshole.
Or two kids trying to smoke this cigarette and you just stomp it out. What the fuck, little girl?
And then they play hide and seek.
Yeah, they were like, let's play hide and go seek. So they go into the forest.
And then the little girl runs into Steve the Melting Man.
Yeah. They make her count to 50, which honestly is way too fucking long, but anyway.
Okay, they're playing hide and seek in a forest, though.
Yeah, it's true. But still, the Melting Man ends up coming out of nowhere and scaring the little girl!
Scaring the little girl!
And she freaks out and runs. Really, really far to her mom, who she ends up screaming at her mom, telling her that she saw Frankenstein. Which I love, actually, because it's like out of all of the things this little girl could have called the Melting Man, a zombie, you know, like a ghost or like a ghoul, a monster.
This is 1977. The two main zombie films that are out are Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. I think will be out.
No, I'm pretty sure she knows what a zombie is.
Yeah, but this is the thing,
or what it's supposed to look like.
Too young. I mean, she could have seen the Boris Karloff Frankenstein, or at least or one of the Hammer Frankensteins at this age.
Yeah,
but she looks to be about 7.
Yeah, I know. I love that though. I love the fact that she knows what Frankenstein is.
I knew what Frankenstein was.
Yeah, but like the go-to thing for her, she sees a monster, and she's like Frankenstein.
It does. By the way, this does feel like one of those 70s horror comics. One of the one-off stories or one of those.
It is kind of. It's very. Yeah.
He looks like he'd look really cool drawn in the comic.
He would. I would love to see an Incredible Melting Man.
Looks like something that would be in Creepshow or something.
Yeah. Oh, you know what would be like pretty awesome?
What?
Like a remake of the Blob in like comic book form.
Ooh.
Like a modern day version of the Blob.
Yes, the Blob.
That'd be pretty fucking awesome. Anyways, so yeah, they end up like it just ends up flashing to like the cops looking around like some of these crime scenes. They find an ear.
Yep, they find his ear on branch.
Yeah, because like he's just melting off. Like Steve is just fucking. He's just parts are falling off of him.
He somehow keeps an eye for the whole movie.
Yeah, somehow he's able to see everything, even though his fucking face is like just straight up slopping off of his fucking skull. So I'm so very surprised he managed to see through the whole goddamn movie. I just imagine him like running through forests and stuff.
He does a lot of that.
Yeah, no, but like whacking into trees.
Just runs really hard into a tree and splats splats like the toxic waste guy on RoboCop.
And tripping over everything.
Just put some comedy music over that. We got a comedy now.
Yeah.
Just put Benny Hill over every scene.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. So yeah, they end up. It ends up flashing to this creepy photographer.
Yeah, taking pictures of a blonde chick in the tube top.
Yeah, and then like he's just straight up taking pictures of her, and he's like, "Yeah, the magazine's gonna love this." Ooh, ha.
Now take off your top.
Yeah, and he tells her to take off her top,
and she doesn't
and she's
want
like,
to.
"No."
But this is what kind of magazine is? Is this? And then he He full scumbags.
Yeah, he just completely...
He tears her top off. It's like,
yeah.
Dude! Okay, granted, he pulls it down. It's a tube top.
No, but he turns into straight up an asshole, rips her top off, and just Grudy's on show. Just like, it just straight up shows that shit. Like, just...
I can't remember. Is Grudy's...
Grudy's.
Is that Clockwork Orange word?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yes,
NASDAQ. Not the NASDAQ.
NASDAQ.
NASDAQ. NASDAQ. That's NASDAQ. That's some kind of business stock thing.
Business things. Anyways. So yeah, her breasts are a showing. And
I know this is a very sexist thing to say, but not impressed. I mean, it's
really?
Really. I mean, if the movie's showing tits, it's impolite to ignore them. It's a horror. I mean, it's what was attractive in the 70s, but they're not that. It's not the size that It's just they're not really interestingly. They're just. And then, back to important stuff. Her leg gets grabbed, but like the dead body, the dead hand, and the dead body is like on her leg. So she screams, and then the cops come, and gets run off by Dr. Steve Perry.
Yeah.
Steve Perry. No, Dr. Ted Nelson.
Ted Nelson.
I'm Ted Nelson.
I'm a Ted Nelson.
Hey, I'm Ted Nelson.
So they start examining the body that was left behind by
That's
the
4
melting
drinks,
man
ladies
killing.
and gentlemen, by the way.
Yeah. So they start examining the body that the melting man left for them because, like, they don't know what the fuck is going on.
And its rib cage is exposed and everything.
Yeah,
clearly, this was... head's gone. Clearly, this was done by a bear.
Yeah, well, it's mutilated. They don't know what the fuck is going on.
But they know it's not a bear because there are no bears.
That's what they said, man.
Bears are fictional.
Bears are fictional. Did you know bears are responsible for about 90% of bear-related deaths?
I'd like to see the incredible melting bear.
God damn it.
That would be awesome.
Oh, fuck. So, yeah, he's, of course, like the rest of the movie, he's just wandering around in the hot sun thinking about what happened.
And we hear the space chatter stuff going on in his brain.
Yeah, just all of the recorded, like pre-recorded talks of him, like being like, "Oh, you haven't seen anything till you've seen the light of the sun through the rings of Saturn."
Then the general comes to dinner.
Of course, and yeah, they end up making all these dinner plans and shit.
Is that important information though?
Not really. Well, it kind of a little bit because then it brings us to the cute old couple.
Oh yes, the old couple is coming for dinner, and they are adorable, and they're discussing whether they should get a gift for them.
Yeah,
it's the woman's mother and father, obviously. Mm-hmm. So we should get candy. She's pregnant. She shouldn't have candy. You just want the candy for yourself.
They're adorable with each other. They really are.
Oh, it's oranges. Those make a nice gift. Those aren't oranges. They're lemons. Oh, you're no fun. Lemons would be better. I could make a lemon meringue pie. All right, we'll steal some lemons.
They're just being cute with each other.
And then we see bits of the melting man looking at them through the bushes. Yep. Then they get chased by a dog because they're trying to steal lemons.
Yeah, they were out in the forest with like a flashlight for some reason because they were trying to steal the lemon. Yeah, and this old man was going to climb up the lemon tree and pick the lemons.
Even though there's some nice low hanging lemons, I would have taken instead.
Still, he ends up they end up getting run up by the dog. They get back to the car,
and then they get eaten by the incredible melting man.
Yeah, which if you've ever seen, like, if you saw the last review that we did,
2 reviews ago. Last review was Troll.
Basically, yeah, because that's going in front of it. Much like another movie that we saw, an old couple. Blow. Yep, old couples dying of radiation. That brings the old couples dying of radiation count to 2 couples.
But they didn't die of radiation. They died of strangling and eating.
Still. They died through...
If you get strangled
via a radioactive source.
True.
So... Oh, man, that was a burp. Excuse me.
And then the incredible melting man is watching the house.
Yeah.
He
ends up getting there, like, literally just, like, standing outside.
And then we hear a glass break, and the woman's there alone. It's like, oh,
yeah.
And then goes in, and then we get a jump scare of cat. Because it was a milk bottle that broke.
Yeah, but it's like all this build up. Like, she goes downstairs in the dark. She goes into the kitchen. She's like looking around.
So you get a fake jump scare, which would usually lead into, oh, it's the incredible melting man. He's actually there. And someone comes in, and it's her husband.
Yep.
Dr. Ted Mason. Ted
Nelson.
Only it doesn't count if I say Ted Mason. It only count or like mix up the name. It only counts if I say Ted Nelson.
Ted Nelson.
Ted Nelson.
Dr. Ted Nelson. So yeah, Ted Nelson comes up behind her, tells her all about what's going on,
and then
tells her about Steve.
Steve. Hey, Steve. And then she's like, "What about my parents? We haven't found them yet. Go find them." So they go and they find out that the parents are dead.
Yep.
And then he gives her a tranquilizer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, giving her drugs when she's apparently pregnant. That doesn't sound like it could go horribly wrong.
Never. It can never go horribly wrong. Oh my god.
And then the melting man goes off to another house and kills a guy and gets goo all over the kitchen and breaks a bunch of stuff. And then he starts attacking the woman, who hides in the kitchen, blocks the door of the refrigerator, and calls the operator and says, and then gets angry
He
at them.
waited, but like I just like to comment on this though. Like he waited for so fucking long outside this house.
Should I go in?
So
Should I go
fucking
in?
long. He's melting in pain, and he's just standing out in the forest, just watching this house completely still for the longest fucking time. He must be getting out there for like what, at least 20 minutes?
At least 20 minutes of
At
film
least
time.
20 minutes. And he's still
God
waiting
knows
outside
how much
his
that
house.
is in real time.
Yeah. So, yeah, he ends up going up there, like, banging on the door. She blocks it with a fridge. Calls the cops.
She doesn't give any information, so they can't help her.
Yeah, and then she just starts, like, laughing manically in the corner.
Oh, that's after she cuts his arm off with a cleaver.
Yeah.
That's important.
Because he ends up, like, opening up the door. She grabs the cleaver and, like, just fucking chops his arm off when he... No, through the window.
Yes.
Yeah, it was through the window.
And then he runs off without his arm.
Yep.
And then she hysterics in the corner.
Yep, runs off into the dark.
And then does he go back to the other house?
No, he ends up running out into the forest and past the an overpass, and he ends up finding the hobo. He passes by the hobo.
And the hobo's like, "Be quiet. We're almost done the liquor.
Yeah.
Don't let him hear us. We're almost done the liquor."
Yep.
I like that. It was like, look, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die with a full bottle of moonshine in me.
No, they probably thought it was just some guy and they didn't want to like waste the booze on.
Or share the booze.
Dude. Yeah, exactly. Either share them or have to dump them out because the guy tells on them, or he might be a cop or something. Anyways.
A one-armed shambling melty cop.
Yeah. And so yeah, Gu Manchu over here ends up like passing by the camp.
Goes into a power plant.
Goes into the power plant.
And then he kills the general.
Yeah, he kills
General Perry.
And like, oh god.
When he has his wonderful turkey leg that he doesn't get to eat.
Yeah.
That's the biggest tragedy.
Yeah. It was sad. He's like, it's like, oh yeah, the girl before was like, yeah, we have some leftover turkey
in the fridge.
Yep. So he helps himself to a turkey and a beer.
Turkey leg and a beer.
Yeah, because he's not getting paid for this shit. He might as well just eat some turkey and drink some beer on the job.
So Steve Mason and a cop.
Yeah.
Who has a shotgun. Like Steve Mason, Ted Nelson.
Ted Nelson.
Is trying to ask the hobos, hey, did you see anyone?
No, nothing. Nothing.
You loved that scene.
It was great because I just want every answer given, like every answer by this homeless person to just be nothing.
It actually reminds me of a scene in the World War I set Blackadder when Baldrick's called as a witness, and his advice is the advice he's given by Edmund Blackadder is to answer no to everything, is to refuse, is to deny everything.
What do you remember?
This is how it goes. Are you Private S. Baldrick? No. Do you know that man? No. Where are you on the evening of the 24th? No.
God damn it.
So they chase him to the power plant.
Yeah.
They shoot him a few times. It doesn't do much.
Yeah. Apparently, yeah. He's still getting stronger as he melts.
Yeah, he's getting stronger as he melts. Figure that one out.
Makes no fucking sense at all.
Then he kills the cop.
Yeah.
Because he shot him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ted Nelson falls off. He's thrown off the... Oh,
the second Ted Nelson fights...
No, wait.
What?
This is how... The way he kills the cop.
Oh, God, it was
He
amazing.
throws him into electrical wires, and then he gets electrocuted.
He just
like
gets fucking
lightning
fried.
everywhere.
He just gets fried
and
in
then he
midair.
falls and is on fire. We were cheering.
I was... Because it comes out of nowhere. It just fucking... It's like the whole movie's like this slow burn. This fucking huge build-up.
And then a very fast
just
burn.
finally it's like,
hey,
oh my god, they find the fucking melting man after all this time, and it's on top of the stairs. Ted Nelson just runs around the corner. He's like, oh god, it's Steve, and he's just fucking. Steve is just a mess. Steve's missing an arm.
Yep.
Steve is just a fucking pile of melting flesh, and he's just completely unrecognizable for the most part. And then the general rushes at him.
No, the cop.
Yeah, the cop rushes at him, and he grabs he like grabs onto Steve and they're like wrestling each other, and then Steve just straight up power bombs him off of the railing
into electricity and then fire.
Into electricity. It was just like this like tiny like surreal moment. It's like, okay, they're probably just gonna wrestle.
Well,
they're
the
probably
movie
just
went
gonna throw him off the stairs and
well,
that's it. No.
Well, the movie went from 0 to 100.
Yeah. He gets fucking just straight up like thrown over the railing into the fucking power lines and just eviscerated in midair, just fucking electrocuted.
Electrocuted, cut in pieces, and then it set on fire all at the same time.
And then drops onto the ground on fire, just like melted and just gone. He is no longer a human being anymore.
Throws Ted Nelson off, but Ted Nelson catches the thing. He's like, Steve, help me! It's me, Ted Nelson!
For 3 minutes, it's like Ted Nelson hanging from a fucking stair, just screaming, Steve! Steve, it's Ted Nelson! I'm falling, Steve!
And then Steve remembers...
Steve!
And then Steve remembers...
Steve, though!
And
Steve, though!
And what happened,
Steve,
or at least in
Steve.
And what happened, at least in Whoville, they say, the Incredible Melting's man heart melted 3 sizes that day, and he picked up the, he saved him.
Steve the Melting Man.
And then he gets shot, so he kills the cops. No, and then he's like, no, wait, I'm Ted Nelson.
He helps up Ted Nelson. Ted Nelson gets like put back down.
The cops are trying to kill.
And the cops show up. Like 2 cops show up and they've got their guns drawn. Obviously, Ted's like, no, please, don't shoot him.
I'm Ted Nelson.
I'm Dr. Ted Nelson. I'm Ted Nelson.
And then they shoot him.
I'm Ted Nelson.
And then they shoot Ted Nelson.
And then they shot Ted Nelson.
And then Steve freaks out and kills both the cops. And then he goes against the shed and he melts.
That was fucking amazing.
He just melts slowly, his head collapses, he's just gooing up.
Yeah, it's like he finally stops eating people. In the whole movie, he's like eating people to gain their cells and stuff, which the whole movie, I assume he was like wanting to die.
Yeah. Because
he's the incredible sad melting man.
Just, I can imagine, just replace him with replace with the music they put with him just walking through the forests. A lot of shots of that.
Yeah.
Just replace it with the Lonely Man from the Incredible Hulk TV show.
Yeah. But like, yeah, he's really sad. So like, I'm surprised he didn't just seriously just stop eating people, or like just not eating anyone in general. So he could have just melted away and died. If the whole movie he could have. Yeah. But this whole movie, he could have just not eaten people and been mad and stuff all the time. And
so he dies, and then a black janitor comes. The black guy comes into the movie at the safest point after the monster's death, and has to clean up the goo.
Yeah, I just imagine the news like at the morning after. It's like, so yeah, last night about 8-9 people were killed, including
Ted Nelson. Sorry.
Ted Nelson.
This isn't Cheers. There's no Ted Danson in this movie.
Ted Danson.
Okay, I assure you, Ted Danson is not in this film.
So yeah, Ted Nelson was shot by cops. He ain't probably died in the best way in this movie, considering everyone else died of like radioactive fire and like just being eaten.
Yeah.
By radioactive melting man.
The kids don't die, by the way. So that's
the kids don't die. They just get scared. Like,
so that's good.
The little girl gets scared off, and by the way,
runs
past the scary little girl.
The two boys reading a Playboy.
Yeah, because of course they would. But like, they're not even worried about like the fact that this little girl just got scared off and like.
Okay, she's screaming that she saw Frankenstein. They didn't see the monster. Would you believe her?
Sort of. I'd be like, wait a second. What did you see in there, Frankenstein?
Cool.
Oh, interesting. Let's go back in the forest.
I said, well, why did you say Frankenstein? Awesome, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Frankenstein. He's cool.
But yeah, he ends up just melting away, and the black man, of course, comes across this because he works at the power plant.
He looks like Uncle Remus.
Sort of. He ends up just picking up all of the little pieces of clothing covered in blood.
Because he's got the white cotton shirt, he's got the overalls, and he's kind of heavy set. He has the graying hair.
He's probably the maintenance guy.
He looks like he walked out of like not Sound of Music. Gone with the Wind or something.
Yeah, it's possible he's the maintenance guy.
He looks like a plantation worker, and it's kind of funny.
Zippity doo-dah!
Zippity day.
God damn it.
My oh my,
What?
there's a melting man today.
Why is there a melting man today?
I don't know.
I just imagine
and
that's
then-
the thought that goes through his head. Why is there a melting man today?
And then the movie's over.
Yeah, and it just fades to black.
Watch
after
this. It's on YouTube.
That. It's amazing.
It is on YouTube.
It is.
Whole movie, 125 minutes.
The comments were pretty fun too. It was literally people arguing back and forth whether this movie was
But the-
utter shit or
Comedy
like,
gold or comedy
or-
gold.
yeah. Or
But the
comedy
thing is,
gold.
this
or
is
like
the,
a classic.
this is the
horror
problem. They weren't arguing. They were just making statements.
Yep.
No one was acknowledging anyone else's statements. It was like politics.
Yeah, it was just literally, this is what I believe. This is what I believe. This is what I believe.
But we're not here to review YouTube comments.
And then every now and again it would be a guy replying to another one. And just being like, you're wrong. Because of course it would say you're wrong.
So, what would you give this movie?
Oh man. Okay, no, like all jokes aside, I would give it maybe a 7.5 out of 10.
Yes, but we
All
wanted
jokes
to do
aside,
this.
I know, but if I had to give it just my own sort of thing,
Mhm.
I'd give it 4 mounds of just melting flesh out of a possible 3 little kids smoking a cigarette in a backyard.
I'd give it a full 5 Ted Nelsons. Ted Nelson, Ted Nelson, Ted Nelson, Ted Nelson, Ted Nelson. Out of a possible 10 Ted Nelsons.
The 3 little kids that are smoking cigarettes, guess what their names are?
They're all called Ted Nelson.
Ted Nelson.
Even the girl. The girl is also Ted Nelson.
The girl is actually Nelson Ted.
Nelson Ted.
Nelson Ted.
So yeah, check it out.
This movie was great.
Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. It's not as over the top I thought it was gonna be. I was expecting it to be like literally.
It was sad.
Yeah, it was more of a depressing sort of like it was more like a Cronenbergian sort of horror flick than anything else. It was
Like-
very much Cronenbergian.
Like The Fly almost.
Sort of, yeah. But yeah, it wasn't as over the top as I thought it was gonna be. I was expecting like the blob levels of like insane. I was expecting like schlock.
Because he's
sort of.
never a gelatinous mass. He's just a.
Yeah, he's just a
turned
man
into
who
a ghoul.
slowly.
He's a feral
melting to
ghoul
death.
from Fallout.
Yeah, sort of. He basically is, yeah. But yeah, I was expecting something along the lines of like the blob, or like something with like a lot more schlock. Like I said, like something like Earth versus the Spider, or something. Like I was expecting like that level of like absurdist, like old school horror.
Ted Nelson.
Ted Nelson. But it was a treat to watch.
It was
fun. I enjoyed it.
I'd also like to give a little shout out here to Tony.
Tony!
You still have my DVD of this movie, Tony. I want it back, please.
How long has he had it for?
3 years? Since Metal Club started.
Shit, man. He probably loves this movie.
So, yeah.
Bye, guys.
Ted Nelson.
Ted Nelson.